favourite song. Play it one more time. Play it all night long. Oh, heaven, heaven is a place where nothing ever happens. Heaven is a place where nothing.
Now then, welcome. Some of you might be pleased, Cole certainly will, that I'm having a quick break from my series of If I Could Only Keep One Album by this artist. Just to quickly cover, firstly, a recent gig I went to, which was a, forgive the pun, definitely once in a lifetime experience. And secondly, just while I was there, of course, dipped into a few record shops, well, just a couple actually, and bought half a dozen or so albums, so I'm going to share them with you as well. Some new stuff, well, new to me anyway. But first of all, that gig, yeah, once in a lifetime. I ain't seen nothing like it. I've been going to gigs for 50 plus years. In all sorts of places and arenas and venues and all the rest of it. Never seen anything like it. Absolutely spectacular. Top class. This was David Byrne. I had the pleasure to see him in the Manchester Apollo in the second of his 3-night stint. So I was there on the Tuesday night, which I call the Orange Night, because all the band were dressed in orange, and you've probably read the reviews, you've heard about it, because the word is out that this was just something else, and I think he is coming back to Britain with this tour. I know he's doing the Peace Hall in Halifax in July, I think, the summer anyway. But if you can get hold of a ticket, highly recommended. 13 strong band. Not a wire or a mic stand or an amplifier or anything in sight. Now apparently, I mean, that was new to me. I've never been to a rock gig where with that sort of absolutely minimalist approach, you know, subverting the whole idea of what a rock concert is, I suppose. But apparently he did sort of approach, or he was trying those things out, I think 6 or 7 years ago in a previous tour, so which I hadn't seen. I'd never seen David Byrne before, but yeah, not a wire in sight. Incredible set, 13 strong band. I say band, 3 or 4 were backing singers, many were multi-instrumentalists, at least 3/4 were percussionists. I mean, they didn't have the drum kit set up there, they were carrying it, so they'd split it into 3. And the whole thing just beautifully choreographed, and then set on this stage and this backdrop, these screens behind the stage with the most stunning projections. The band all in a very utilitarian stroke egalitarian orange sort of outfit. I thought it was reminiscent of the Guantanamo Bay stuff, but I don't think that was intended, because he was alternating these colour schemes. But they opened with that song, Heaven, taken from this album, Talking Heads, Fear of Music. I mean, the whole set list, I had it on my phone there, but I've just lost it. The set list was a mix of the Talking Heads classics, a best of Talking Heads, alongside stuff from his new album mainly. And it just worked absolutely brilliant. The band was superb. The bass player was absolutely stunning. Played a variety of bass orientated instruments. The sound was fantastic. The vocals were just something else. I mean, listening to these Talking Heads albums, they're great albums. This one, Remaining Light, the others I've got on CD, so I'm not gonna show them, but did several songs off this. Did a brilliant version of Life During Wartime, where he showed America under wartime with ice and whatever, and it was really scary. Got a got a real big reaction from the crowd. But the opener, Heaven, it was the only one, I think. I mean, the whole show was very, very upbeat. It was highly choreographed. It was all energy, the whole thing. I mean, the guy's 70, what is he, 71, 2? Something like that. Never stopped moving. He did as much as everybody else. He wasn't stood in the centre, the prima donna. As I say, the whole show had a sort of egalitarian sensibility to it. I mean, it left you feeling really, really good. Feeling really good about humanity and the possibilities, when sometimes it's easy to be pessimistic. But yeah, absolutely fantastic show. The sound were brilliant. Byrne's vocals were outstanding. As I say, he opened with Heaven. While they were playing it, the projection of the Earth, the planet Earth, rising majestically behind there was only 3 or 4 on the stage at that time. It was one of the few times where the whole band wasn't out there, and the planet Earth was rising up. And yeah, I think Byrne said something like, yeah, that's our only heaven, this place, you know, look after it, it's all we got. So yeah, superb stuff. There was the encore, well, did an encore, but they finished with Once in a Lifetime from the Remaining Light album. They went on to, where have I put them? There they are. Some stuff mainly from his new album, Who Is the Sky, which apparently is a play on the words, Who Is This Guy? But that's one of my favourite David Byrne albums. I don't think they did anything off that one, Growing Backwards, but did a few off this one, and we'll go out with the opening track off that one in a few minutes. But absolutely stunning. Yeah, I was exhausted because of I suppose just the visual, sonic onslaught and the beauty of it. It just left me sort of drained, but in a really, really good way. So yeah, stunning, fantastic. I haven't got the adjectives for it. I hope they're committed to film and stick it on a, you know, on a film or a DVD or whatever, as they did with Stop Making Sense years ago. But whether they do or not, I don't know. It certainly would lend itself to that. But David Byrne talked about kindness and love is the new punk. You know, it's the punk thing to do, is to be kind to each other. And yeah, as I say, beautiful stuff. Thank you, David Byrne. Brilliant. Right, I'll put those Talking Heads album down. But whilst in Manchester, of course, I had a few hours to spare, only a couple of hours unfortunately, before the gig. I went up to Oldham Street. I didn't have the energy or the knees to climb up to the top floor of Affleck's Emporium, so I went in 2 shops. I went in the Vinyl Exchange, second-hand vinyl, and I went over the road to Piccadilly Records. I do love Piccadilly Records every time I go there. They put a little short essay on the front of of just about every album in the shop. It's all new stuff. It's not second hand, but just did a little bit of description and a little bit of introduction. So it's one where I sort of read those and think, oh, that sounds interesting, and I picked up some things I maybe otherwise wouldn't have and hadn't heard of before. And so I think I got 3 or 4 new and 3 second hand, I think, and I was just going to run through them briefly. First one I picked up was a new one. This is Levitation Room. These are a band from, and the album is called Strange Weather. These are a band from Los Angeles. They're labelled as sort of psychedelic rock. They've got a really clean, spacey, sort of retro, dreamy sort of sound. Some of it's sort of 60s retro in a really, really good way. Very, very good. It's from 2024. It's got some really lovely sort of grooves on it that, yeah, very, very nice. Played it twice. That one will get played many times again. Levitation Room 2024, the album Strange Weather. The next one, I should have heard of this guy because he was a Mercury Prize nominee. I'm saying guy, Jacob Allon. I love the cover, by the way. This is In Limerence, which is a sort of reference to a sort of in-between sort of state. Jacob Allon, there's a picture, there he is. I'm saying they are one of these people who prefer the they pronoun, the non-binary. I struggle with it. I struggle to sort of say it. No disrespect intended to Jacob. He says, this album is dedicated to all my dear queer siblings. Blah blah. So no disrespect. I do struggle with the they and them thing for individual people, but the album itself, anyway. What is it? Indie folk, I suppose you'd call it. Beautiful, actually, absolutely beautiful. Nick Drake comes to mind. Occasionally, Jeff Buckley comes to mind. The guys, they are Scottish. He is Scottish. Oh God, I'm going to put it down before I dig myself further into some sort of hole. Anyway, Jacob Allon, In Limerence from 2025. The next one, I bought this one, Blood Money, from 2002 because this came out as a sort of at the same time as another Tom Waits album, Still Alice. And I remember going to a record shop in Newcastle on the week they came out, specifically to buy these on CD. I was into the CDs by then, and took them home. And for whatever reason, I didn't play this for a few weeks. It stood to one side, and when I went to get it out, it had some remote, obscure 12-inch single CD in the thing, which was somebody I'd never heard of, didn't want, and all the rest of it. And so I put it to one side intending to take it back and never ever did. So although I bought this album and paid whatever it was at the time, me tenner or more, probably more, for a CD, I never actually had it. I have the case of it but not it. So I bought this, really good, really miserable album. It's Tom Waits at his most miserable. Misery is the river of the world. Everything goes to hell. God's away on business. The part you throw away. A good man is hard to find. It's absolutely terribly, terribly miserable, but really nicely done. Beautifully played. Larry Taylor's bass on here is outstanding. It's a great sounding album. Blood Money, Tom Waits from 2002. The next one of my favourite bands, one of the greatest gigs I've ever been to actually, My Morning Jacket. This is The Waterfall from, what year was this? I can't remember now. 2015, 14, something like that. And I have The Waterfall 2, which was the follow-up to this, on CD, and I really like that. And my understanding was, I think I've got it right, The Waterfall 2 was sort of outtakes that didn't make it onto this LP. So my assumption was this LP will be a bit like that, but even stronger. On first listen, I'll have to obviously give it another go, but on first listen, I've got that wrong. The Waterfall 2 seems to have the stronger songs, bizarrely. This seems, it's okay, it's alright, it just seems a little bit flatter. I mean, they're a really exuberant band with a sort of country inflection, a sort of indie, a rock inflection. But that exuberance is, it didn't hit me straight away with this one, but I'll have to give it another go. This is The Waterfall from My Morning Jacket. My next one, this is the one I've struggled with most out of this batch. This is Alan Sparhawk, formerly of Low. This is White Roses, My God. And I was looking forward to hearing this. I really liked Low. I'd read on a little bit of blurb that this one was sort of inspired by, and to some extent there was a little bit of collaboration, I think, with Kurt Wagner of Lamb Chop. I love Lamb Chop and Kurt Wagner. So I was looking forward to it, but I found it almost unlistenable because he uses the vocoder. Now, I've heard other bands use a vocoder. Neil Young used one, obviously, and Daft Punk, people like that. But where it sort of makes your voice sound like a robot type thing. And but I don't know. I just maybe wasn't in the mood. But I maybe I've got to listen harder and more. I just found it quite impossible, so I haven't at all got into that. I don't think I've got through a full side of it yet, but I'll keep persevering. The first album since his wife died, and he had to be persuaded back, and so I think it's dark sort of themes there, but yeah, I'll give it another go. Alan Sparhawk, White Roses, my God. Now, my two favourite albums from this batch, two people stroke bands I'd never heard of. The first one, Duquette Johnson. What a lovely, lovely album this is called The Social Animals. There's Duquette Johnson. Lovely, done in a bit of a sort of blue note jazz sort of style sleeve. This guy's from Birmingham, Alabama. I've read a little bit about him. He's had a pretty wild life, I think, in terms of brushes with the law and health and imprisonment and all sorts of problems, I think. But the guy is he's big on community. He's invested back in his own community. He set up a sort of club come arts project supporting local artists and bands and things. And anyway, this is his latest thing, and it's really, really good. Sort of, I think, a lot of collaborations on here. Dinosaur Jr. and oh goodness me, can't remember who the other one was, but it gives it that sort of grungy sort of edge, scuzzy sort of guitars. Lovely stuff. One of my favourite recent buys, Duquette Johnson, The Social Animals, and that one's from 2022, I think. And then lastly, I picked up this one simply on the title. At first I thought the band were called North East Coastal Town, and that's why I bought it. I live in a North East Coastal Town. I mean, this band might be stretching the definition of North East to its just about limit, I think, but this band are called Life. They're from Hull. As I say, it was the title of the band really that did it for me, but when I looked on the inside, just when I got it outside, it said inspired by and dedicated to the city of Hull, a northeast coastal town. Well, Hull is one of those places that I do love Hull without knowing it hardly at all. I wanted to go down there and get to know it a bit better when it was City of Culture. But anyway, this is a sort of a dedication to their city. But it's full of just great songs. Sometimes, I mean, they're an indie band, a little bit punky occasionally, but very, very strong songs. And occasionally they sound like a little bit like 1970s Berlin era Iggy Pop meets post-Pavement Stephen Malkmus. Which for me is entirely a good, that's a sort of good marriage, but some of the songs seem like that to me, but really, really good. I think it's their third album, North East Coastal Town by Life from Hull, and perhaps my friend William, who is from the great city of Hull, might be able to tell me some more about them. But that's me lot. We're going to go out, if I can get it on. I cocked the last video up, didn't I? We're going to go out with the opening track from, what it is I can't work me bloody iPhone. We're going to go out with Everybody Laughs, the opening track from Who Is This Guy, David Byrne's new solo album. Brilliant album.
1, 2,
2. It's just, I pressed the wrong thing.
they just have some more.
That was, that was the one I was trying to put on last week. Just, I wish I should just stick to getting. It's because I've moved seats. I've got to get up and down to put the LPs over. I think this would help with the, the flow of these videos. But oh God, this is Everybody Laughs. David Byrne.
1, 2.
I don't know why.
1, 2. 1, 2, 3, and.
Well done, David. You got it.
Everybody laughs and everybody cries. Everybody lives and everybody dies. Everybody eats and everybody loves. Everybody knows what everybody does. Everybody